I wanted to do just on the, the movies are out over the summertime. Today is officially summertime. It's June 21st, officially. And they've been having a lot of good movies. How am I about movies? I'm very critical.
Yeah, you are.
Like, I just do not, I see through a lot of the stuff. I hate movies. Like, I cannot. I'm very picky. And even documentaries, I'm just like, yikes. Like, you have to have heart. But I'm pleasantly surprised because they've had some good movies this summer, or pre-summer, because technically today's summer. And we just went to see WWZ, which was actually a zombie movie. And I just figured that out like 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, well, the way they market it, I think zombie movies kind of up and down the movie in the box office. So I think sometimes people could get zombied out, and the movie actually cost $200 million. So they had to actually market it in a certain way. So I actually liked how they marketed it, because when I first saw it, I never read the books.
Very clever.
So when I first saw it, I didn't know what exactly was the threat. And then only like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it started to come out. It was zombies. I was like, oh, okay.
That was very clever. Very clever marketing, because I really actually thought it was World War III, and I was like, wow, like, that's messed up. They're shooting off innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was good. Like, but it kind of matches the whole theme with like Walking Dead and stuff, huh?
Yeah, which I think Walking Dead is one of the best shows on TV, maybe the best right now. So no question.
And the last weekend we saw Superman.
Yeah, which was excellent.
And then the day before we saw Superman, we saw actually Star Trek.
Yeah, what a week before? After.
And it was actually the day before.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then what happened was, the week before that we saw, I think like it was Iron Man.
Maybe 2 weeks before that.
So it was cool because we saw Iron Man, Star Trek, Superman, and then World War Z. And I was like pretty, like for all those ones right there, those are the ones that we actually went to see, and I was actually impressed with them. World War Z is pretty darn good. It's like you have to realize that you're dealing with zombies. So a zombie, it has to be action packed from the gate. You want to be like jumping off your seat.
You're not gonna get great lines in zombie movies for the most part. You can.
You're not gonna get really great plots.
Not really.
It's more about the zombies,
I like the zombies in this one. I actually think it's one of the better ones I've seen.
Yeah, and I did have a problem with this before. We're not going to give anything away because I don't want to tell you the plot. But my problem with this zombie movie, when I first saw it and I figured out it was zombie, I was like, technically, how's that going to work? Because if you're a zombie, you're going to take over a dead body. And in that process, I was like kind of sometimes a little bit too logical. But I was like, in that process, you have rigor mortis, and then the body is stiff. So if it starts to come on, you're going to have to, you can't run. You have to be like, oh, right? So this movie, I guess the zombies, like, what's like, they get you in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, when you bit, 15 seconds later, you turn into a zombie, which makes it much more explosive than most zombie movies you see. Because most zombie movies you see, it could last like a day or two, fever, maybe 3-4 days. Maybe you could pretend that you be bit. This one, you could see a city could be gone in a blink of an eye. That's how bad it is.
they hit like Manhattan. Like the first scene, it was like, well, it was actually the second scene, but it was like crazy. Yeah. And then they were really powerful. Yeah. And in the previews, they kind of remind me of ants.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think people will be satisfied. I think because zombie movies have a fan, the type of person like zombie movies. I think even if you don't like zombie,
how would you describe those fans?
Like, sometimes zombie movies could be like to a regular person. Like, you got TV movies, you got movies. Sometimes a regular person who doesn't like zombie movies, they look at a zombie movie and say, this could be on TV.
Or too gory.
They walk slow.
Yeah, I was like,
Some people don't like the blood, but I mean, some people it's too slow for them. Some people like great plots. Zombies are pretty standard, but I think even if you don't like zombie movies, I think you would actually like this one too, because it's pretty much action. And Brad Pitt did a pretty good job, I have to admit.
I liked him, and it felt like his character, like it felt good, and I liked the character developments. And, I'm not going to say any names, but I liked how they had some women that were like, some military women that were in there, and they were like gangster. They were like ride or die. And I like that, because usually you have them just like panty and pretty and just save me, or they're like too like not realistic. But this one, it just seemed realistic. I like some of the women soldiers that they had, particularly the Israeli soldiers. I like those girls a lot.
Yeah.
Because they just seemed like because that's how they are, right? Because I was thinking, I'm like, why does it make them have like military women? And then you have to explain it to me, right?
Well, a lot of people don't. In Israel, everybody has to go through military service. Everybody, men and women. So, and Israeli military is very professional, and a lot of people, the women, they have a reputation of being good soldiers. So they amplified this in the movie a little bit. And I think they played it to the T. Sometimes you get something and you don't see it. It's kind of not kind of real if you don't know about it. But even the way, I don't want to give it away anything, but whatever the location was, they had different locations around the world. It all kind of fit. Even when they were in Newark, the projects, it fit. Like, it felt the feel of it, like, everywhere. So
I really like it. I like the graphics and stuff. But my only problem that I have is there was like the movie was great, but a lot of the awesome scene they showed on the previews, like the commercials, and that's like my thing. Like sometimes I want to be like see something that just shocks value, because like I hate when they like show all like the most awesome stuff in the commercials, and you go and you're like, I saw all the cool stuff. Like there was still other cool stuff shown, but for the most part, I just think that they could have like not show us everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how people see that way. I don't think they showed that.
The movie was so good, though.
I think that, I guess I have to be like the corporate stooge. And, I know that they had to work a little hard marketing it, and if they didn't show certain scenes, like, it's not really something that, like, with Superman and a lot of comic movies, Iron Man, I mean, anybody know Iron Man? Like, you don't even have to show them much scenes anymore because it has a buzz already. Yeah. This one, you have to kind of convince people to go. That's so true. I kind of understand.
That's true. And it did work. I mean, because at first I was like, I'm not going to see this.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I would say this movie is one of the first movies in a while.
That we saw opening night, huh?
We saw opening night.
Actually, opening day.
And I didn't plan on seeing it. Like,
That's
usually
true.
for movies, you can't convince me to see it just based on the marketing. Right. But they got me with this one.
Right. But okay, and then before that we saw Superman. And Superman, I think, Superman was awesome. This movie was good, more so if you're into, like, thrill. Like, there was a guy at the back of the movie theater, which was, like, really crowded, and he was like, he was like, oh, every time the scary scene went off. And I was just laughing because you could tell, like, it was genuine. Like, he wasn't even being funny. So it even got to a point where everyone was, like, kind of giggling because it's, like, he was really, like, breathing hard when the scenes were. I think that's awesome. You can hear people doing that, you know what I mean?
No question.
But then there was Superman, and me personally, I like Superman first. Star Trek was freaking awesome. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised because Star Trek was something you wanted to see more. And I was like, I don't really want to see this. I saw the first one. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with Superman, and Iron Man was good. So between all of them, which one would you say from like 1 to 4?
I would have to probably say Superman first.
Why?
I just think that I don't really like Superman the character, to be honest. For me, I'm a big comic book guy, and I'm always kind of up and down with Superman. I respect him, and he's the comic book person you always think about. But it's so easy to mess up a Superman movie. I've seen so many bad Superman movies.
Yeah, because I know that a lot of times they say he's supposed to be so noble that he has criticism that he doesn't even like kill
like in the comic, Superman, Batman always argue about that. Like he just.
But in this one, there was controversy because he actually like did something to someone, like Yeah. So then people were like, "Oh, that's not his character."
What they did is they got Chris Nolan, the guy who did Batman, and he was making Batman dark. So they brought that same stuff to Superman, which was smart.
Oh, okay.
They made that same dark feel to Superman. Yeah. So I think Superman ended up being pretty good. Because of that.
Okay. And I did like it because I thought it was going to be. I personally like Superman because it was balanced into like his origins into like where he is now, like not where he is, but like his family background to them now, to a little bit essence of the background, and like like his origins. Like it was good to see a little bit of his origins. So even though when he was here, it was more like him growing up and seeing his struggles. So like the Earth scenes were more just like his. It was like somewhat surreal or not like new to his perspective, and I like that because you can see it from like his perspective.
Yeah, no question.
Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to decode in there, but that's like a completely different story. And then Star Trek. What did you think about Star Trek?
Star Trek was good. I think Star Trek was really good. I think they didn't market it where they could have, so it didn't really do what they wanted it to do. But I think Star Trek was good. I think Star Trek was solid. I think it was solid. I mean, I don't really
Do you think it's a plot or is it like the scene?
The plot was good. I just think it was good. I mean, I have nothing to. I mean, because sometimes with movies now, it's a shame that sometimes people only think a movie is good if it does good, as good as they want to start with.
That was good.
But it was a good movie. I just think with Star Trek for me, you kind of like because it's been done so many times. Just the whole plot of it, it's really easy to mess it up. Like to make it boring, and I think it wasn't boring at all. It flowed right. Yeah. There wasn't really parts of the movie that was like. That was kind of action from beginning to end.
It was more though Spock. I like Spock more than like
Spock is the man.
Yeah, like Spock was. I think like Spock for some reason, and Zoe, or I don't know her name in the movie, but his girlfriend. Yeah. They seemed more like the main characters to me than Captain Kirk. And Captain Kirk, like, he wasn't like the Captain Kirk from the old days. Like, he's supposed to be like hooking up with. All these, like, they had Gwency, but come on, Captain Kirk was a little bit more cockier. Come on. Well, and then he has his little girlfriend who was even in the original. They introduced her into the scene. I'm kind of like, okay, now you're just kind of getting cheesy for me. Yeah. Like, keep it original. You kept it original all the way up to here. Don't introduce someone because you want him to have his little girlfriend. Kirk always was a gigolo. He messed up with every single alien girl that came in contact with him.
Yeah, Kirk was the man.
He could be like the Mac. Mm-hmm. Of the galaxy. He'll tell all the aliens how to pimp the girls because he got them all, right?
Yeah, I mean that's oh my god. I mean that was Kirk though. That's Kirk. I mean he's
That's my only thing about him is like they especially because like that this is supposed to be the Star Trek before the one that we saw when we were younger.
Yeah.
So if you're in your 20s, you should be a lot more freakier than you are in your 50s. Mm-hmm. So I just think that's where they messed up about.
But I think Spock was he was the man.
He is the man. Like the whole thing was about him. I think so. He's the main character, which is kind of weird.
I don't want to say the whole thing is about him, but I mean he shined. I think the way it flowed, he shined. Like you kind of he was the one who went up against the villain in the end. Mm-hmm. He shined throughout the movie. He was kind of the one who was the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. I think they got his character pretty well.
And what do you think about Iron Man?
I mean, Iron Man was good for me.
I'm a big whole post trauma. It's kind of like the continuation from Avengers.
Yeah, I think what it is. I think Iron Man. I think Shane Black who did it. I think he tried to put his own spin on it, but then he tried to make it like a manly man's. Like he emphasized that masculine stuff.
Really, even though he was a bit more emotional and stuff in this one.
Yeah, in the sense that it was kind of more like you could tell he tried to take it in another direction. Like he challenged the villain, set his number out there in the open for like nothing.
He was like really cocky, but he's known for being cocky though.
I think that though, it seems like a lot of people worldwide looked at it as Avengers 2, and it wasn't Avengers 2. That was the funny part. Like I guess when you live in another country, you don't really see the American movie, so in their minds it was Avengers 2, and it was funny how it made so much money just because of that. And it wasn't really Avengers 2.
And everyone's like, "Where's all the other superheroes?"
Yeah. But it was cool.
My predictions is they're gonna have obviously his girlfriend got that superhero. This is what I think. The superhero, like she became like a superhuman, which is interesting because if you think about Star Trek, they're talking about the perfect human, which was genetically modified, and then her was supposed to be like the superhuman, but then he was supposed to retire. In the end, I don't know. Like so the question was leaving like, is he going to retire? Because they kind of insinuated he was going to retire.
But he's not going anywhere.
But his girlfriend became like the superhero person, so I think like she might become actually a new superhero character. I mean, because in Avengers 2, before she had to go away because she couldn't fight, but she was a pretty badass, and What do you think?
I mean, they're probably not going to do that just because it wasn't like that in the comics and marketing.
Star Trek, he never had a girlfriend.
Yeah, but I actually think. I mean, Trek fans are crazy, but I actually think comic fans are crazy. And plus, they want to kind of they're going to have Avengers 2 and 3. Like, they would have to have Iron Man there anyway. I mean, he made more money than all the Avengers characters together, which was, that's messing it up now because everybody wants their paper now. But so
I thought the Patriots Iron Man was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that was.
Is that in the comic books?
I don't remember. Could be. I don't remember it that ever. But
you should ask Bryce. He knows everything.
Yeah, maybe. I have to ask him next time I talk to him. But maybe
he needs to be our correspondent on these comic book stuff.
But I mean, I think that you guys have a lot of good movies to watch. I mean, I didn't see Fast and Furious stuff. That's a little bit too much for me.
No, I've never seen one of those.
No, I've seen them before. I didn't see this one.
How many Fast and Furious can you get? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the same movie. But I've heard it. People says okay, but that's a Netflix movie to me. Like that's one that when I'm going to bed, Netflix, I put it on. I'm not gonna watch Fast and Furious. So,
The same thing with Transformers.
Yeah, I was a big Transformers guy, but they totally botched that to me. So
yeah, I heard there's gonna be they're gonna choose someone new now for the new Transformers, right?
See, the thing of movies make so much money now. These people can't stop themselves. Like once you're supposed to put it to bed, they can't stop themselves. There's no way they weren't gonna make another Transformers. Mm-hmm. I mean,
they're making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, that's like so whack. Like,
well, it's just obvious. You could tell like they don't have no more.
It's Michael Bay. He always wants to do his like 1980s. Like, oh, I grew up on this. You might as well do He-Man.
Well, you gotta admit the 80s though. Obviously had the cartoons. I mean, what a combo. I mean, now when I go to theater, I could guarantee I'm gonna see 2 combos.
You should do it, but do it like cleverly. Like it's an art. Like don't like when he does movies, you could tell he's doing it for money. So he does like the ridiculous. Effects, right? It's all special effects, which is awesome because World War Z was special effects, and I still liked it. Mm-hmm. But correlate the special effects with like the lines. Like you have to have good writings. Don't have like I don't know, like 8th grade writing, and then like cliche characters. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just really picky. So
but definitely go see World War Z. You like it.
World War Z versus Superman. I say I agree with you. World War Z. I would say Superman number 1, World War Z number 2, Star Trek number 3, and Iron Man number 4.
Definitely. So
until next time, peace.